You're listening to the Heroes Power Hour presented by BlizzPro.com. Your host, Balrog fan, Zexorus, and DJ Tyrant. Welcome, everyone, to the Heroes Power Hour. This is episode 58 of the Heroes Power Hour. 58 episodes. That just blows me away. I am your host, DJ Tyrant. I'm here with the motley crew of my friends here, Balrog fan, Zexorus, and P-Flame G. This is a Heroes of the Storm podcast talking about all things Heroes, meta changes, heroes that are coming into the game, all that stuff. And we've got a lot of stuff to talk about this week. There's yet another patch coming out this week. But before we dig into that stuff, let's talk a little bit about our week in Heroes. We got to play a cheer league match on Friday. Charlie, did you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. First, real quick, too, I'd like to just say Artifice is not joining us this week. She will be back. Her schedule at work kind of is random. Some nights she'll be able to make it, some nights she won't. But yeah, if anybody's here looking for Artifice, sorry guys, you will have to wait till next week, hopefully. Yeah, our cheer league match didn't really go the way we wanted it to. We had a bad day, so we didn't get our full rotation of the people that we generally practice with. Jimmy filled in, and it wasn't really anything that I don't think any of us really misplayed anything too hard. I could have been better positionally, probably. But overall, we just kind of underestimated how much of an impact Lunara would have on our team in that match. And she definitely made us pay. A lot of us were dying to, last-tick poison damage as we were moving away.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, Carl, you saw it.
Yeah, she did work. I mean, it was Battlefield of Eternity. And, we had a really, really good team fighting comp.
Yeah.
But they had Lunara and Gazlo, who could just destroy the Immortals, and that's just how they won. They got every single Immortal, they pushed with it, and they got level leads.
Yeah.
Rinse and repeat.
Yeah, because we both hit 10 around the same time, then all of a sudden they were 13 and we were still 10.
Yeah.
It was just bad all over. They were a good team too. It's not like we threw the match or anything. It's kind of like what you said, Carl. We just didn't really account for how fast they would be able to burn an Immortal down and keep us away from being able to stop them.
Yeah.
Willie, what was your take on all? I mean, I know you were just kind of in the tank and roll and doing your tank thing.
He wasn't.
I wasn't there.
That's right. I'm sorry. That's dumb.
It was me, you.
Yeah.
Artifice,
we had Digi tanking.
Digi was tanking on.
Fine.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's right. Willie was stuck at work that night because it's always weird when we don't get to play.
Mm-hmm. I just wish we had been able to fit Tehran in there somehow, because I played a Hero League game last night, and I picked Tehran, and just the amount of damage that she's able to facilitate onto the Immortal is out of control.
Yeah, but I think I'd spent the day practicing Li Ming and Tyrande, and Li Ming was available, so we grabbed her. And,
that's hard to pass up.
Our other damages don't really play Tyrande, so...
Yeah, that Hunter's Mark is just, it's like you said, it's such a big deal for burning those things down. I'm surprised she's still allowed to Hunter's Mark things like that, because a lot of that stuff got taken away. I was talking with Zex the other night. I was like, hey, remember when Brightwing used to be able to polymorph these Garden Terror, the bosses that drop 60 seeds? Just to watch them be about to.
When was that?
That was early.
It was alpha, I think.
Yeah.
That was fun.
It's like at a mid-beta, so I wasn't around for that.
Yeah, it was just
I never got to deal with artifacts.
Yeah, I didn't see artifacts either, actually. I'm glad we weren't.
I did.
So,
And I let my opinion be known on the forum, so we'll just let that lie.
I mean, I think they figured it out pretty quick. They
They
didn't
did.
a half-baked rune system.
Mhm.
Had no points in this game. And that's honestly one of the things I don't enjoy about League probably more than anything is those runes and like grinding,
Yeah.
spending money on that. Like I've got 100 heroes to buy. Why do I need to buy something that gives me gold? Come on, leave me alone, League.
Hmm.
So ESL happened too. And for once I actually got to watch quite a few matches. I made time for it, and I always enjoy watching the European meta. I love the way they play warriors. Me and Willie were talking about this before too. The double tank meta and everything.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely a big thing over there. Like almost every single game had some form of double tank. There was very rarely any deviation from that. And I like double tank. I think it's a solid idea. Rhaegar really works well in a double tank. So does Brightwing. And there was a lot of Dahaka bans that day.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's kind of going around now. The word is out on Mr. Dahaka.
Yeah.
Not allow him in maps where that kind of global presence. I feel like, especially at the pro level too, where like you can't trust any bush like at any point during the game. Like that's a huge thing that he brings to the table, and it makes it.
Yeah, it's similar to a degree of how Zeratul and Nova kind of changes how you play.
Yeah.
Just because the stealth, you have to be thinking back in your mind. If you don't see them on the map, they could be where you are.
Yep.
And Dahaka is just able to rotate and get those kills so easily. And I still don't own Dahaka. I do want to play him sometime, but with Zex playing him, like, there's no reason for me to really pick up Dahaka. Just because we end up playing together most of the time. It seems like most of my hero games seem to be playing with or grouping up with others. Although yesterday I did solo Hero League a bit. That was interesting.
Yeah, you streamed it, right?
Yeah, I did.
I remember
It was fun.
watching that for a little bit. It looked kind of painful.
Yeah, I went 2 for 2. I
Not bad.
think both the games I lost were on Thrall, who I usually have a good time with in Hero League. But the 2 games I won were Tehran on Battlefield and Brightwing on Blackheart's Bay. So
You're playing Brightwing? I've never seen you play Brightwing.
I'm trying to learn Brightwing. I mean, we're trying to get me kind of in that backup support role on the team. I'm really trying to round out the supports that I know.
Yeah. I mean, Brightwing's she's so much fun. She really is. Like, I love playing her, and me and Willie kind of stumbled onto this with. I mean, it's sort of obvious, but at the same time, it works so well, and we're having so much fun with it. We've been duo queuing in Hero League, and he picks Dahaka, I pick Brightwing, and it's just the global presence of that is so dangerous. Like, we found out too. Like, if I start to teleport after he starts Brush Stalker, I will just like pop up exactly where he brush stalks at the same time, and it's pretty funny. Like, he'll drag them, then
Then you poly him.
Yeah, he silences them. Then I poly them after the silence. Where like people are just like, we go to a lane, and then as long as there's a damage there, somebody with a stun or something, especially Kelthus just loves when we show up in lane. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. It's easy. It's rotate. Okay. It's easy rotations.
Yeah.
To be perfectly honest, like it's like every like 40 seconds, like you can pretty much have 2 people ready for a gank.
Yeah.
At any moment, and Dahaka is so good at just like setting those ganks up. Is just a little patience like gets you a kill. So I don't like it at the start of a game, Blizzard, when I set up for a party bush and you immediately tell me that I need to be active in 45 seconds or I'm going to get kicked for being AFK. I'm not AFKing. I'm being patient.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for them to come to me so I can get a gank off. That's not just idling.
Yeah,
Something needs to be done about that because that's really grating on me for Hero League. Like that's almost made me. That's almost made me like just cancel Party Bush entirely because like I don't want to get ganked.
I accidentally rotated out of the bush a bit when I was like, oh, I'm inactive, and then I popped my little dragon head out of the bush. I'm like, oh, that's kind of defeats the purpose. Let's go back there. Hopefully they didn't see me. So yeah, that is a kind of a weird interaction. Maybe they need to up it to 60 seconds.
No,
'Cause I feel like that would make all the difference because it always pops up right near the end.
yeah, but what was it? There was this one. I think I was playing. I think it was with Artifice, and I was like, hey, Party Bush, and we pretty much insta-give to Sonya. She had enough time to see me poke my head out of the bush, and then she was dead.
Yeah.
Because we just completely obliterated her. It's a delicious.
I think that was the three of us because I remember that Sonya. We deleted someone else too. I think it was Azul. Just like he tried to bone prison you as he was dying, and you're just standing there at it.
Yeah, that was the other thing is when we played a bunch of Team League on Sunday.
Yeah,
and I got to play a bunch of Zool, and Zool is just really fun.
No,
like, he is such a fun hero. Like oh my goodness.
Like, I've never seen you play as well as you were playing with Zool, like with any hero, except maybe Lost Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
You just
and
have
Malf
a
when he wasn't awful. Malfurion when he wasn't awful.
It definitely wasn't Tyrael.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
Jimmy's had a great Malfurion. Yeah, he's just so far out of the meta.
I was playing with Artifice this morning in Hero League, and she ran Zagara, and she was like consistently hitting 3 4-man Maws.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous, and it was just that's like feeding time for Dahaka. Someone's gonna die at that point as soon as that Maw comes up. It was hilarious.
Yeah, no, I didn't know she had such a good Zagara until we put her on her that one game, and then it's like, oh, you can play Zagara? That's awesome to know because we always needed a second player.
She mini dunked someone. Like she got a kill on the drop. She got a kill on somebody with the roach sling drop.
Oh, nice.
Not the roach slings themselves. So the impact. I was like. Yeah. The mini dunks. It's like Asmo small. It's like someone hitting you in the face with one of those little mini basketballs.
Yeah. Mosquito dunk.
And Zagara is just one of those heroes with her ult. It's just, if it's good, it's totally game changing. I mean, the same with Mosh Pit and Sundering. I feel like.
Yeah, absolutely. Ults that can absolutely just decimate a team and turn a fight completely and one-sided. And we got quite a bit of practice in. I know Carl didn't get to play with us as much as he would have liked because he's been pretty busy with school and whatnot. But I mean, Carl's just kind of. Is there a damage you can't play?
Gray main.
Yeah, I'm pretty mad on Gray main. See, my specialists are kind of weak. I'm not good at Nova or Tychus.
Okay, so there's a few, but I mean, numbers are always just off the charts. Like, oh, we'll just put Carl on Raynor and he'll do 100,000 damage or something silly like that. Speaking of Raynor too, I realized he's actually very good, very strong on Garden of Terror right now because of the way the plant works. That Hyperion with those plants strangling a building just absolutely melts structures.
Yeah, I can see that. Wow. It's really nice.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. That's interesting.
I thought it was only double damage for the Terror.
No, anything.
No, but I mean, Raynor's Hyperion does good damage to structures anyways. And when your whole team is there pushing it and their team's underneath it, you get both the team fight value and the structure value.
Yeah.
So it's a good play.
Yeah, anything that's being like tangled by that, it takes increased damage from the Terror, right? But yeah, like Carl said, it's just that saying like, okay, we control this area now completely. We're putting damage on it. None of your structures are working. The Terror's chunking whatever it wants to hit, and if they stick around and get hit by a bad seed Spore Queen Curse or whatever, that's that can be very detrimental when you're sitting under Rainer's Hyperion as well. So I think I haven't seen much Rainer lately, and then when we ran into him on Garden of Terror, I'm like, haha, who picks Rainer anymore? Oh my god, I'm dead.
Yeah, he's still decent.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fallen out of the meta a little bit, I think, mostly because of Vala's kind of resurgence.
Mm-hmm.
Filling that similar ranged role.
Yeah, Tyke's being back a bit.
I don't know if he's fully back yet. I haven't seen a whole lot like ESL. There wasn't a whole lot of Tychus play in action. They all pretty much all defaulted to Vala for their range damage. But
I find that surprising though, because he does so good at melting tanks early, and they were all running double tank.
Yeah, you would think, but maybe there's just something.
He does good damage. I mean, if I can do good with him, I don't understand why. Because I'm terrible on damage. He's just somebody that kind of clicks with me a bit.
Yeah, I mean, pros will always be set in their ways for a while, right? Because you spend a month practicing, Vala and Falstad and Kael'thas, and Tychus comes up and it's like, well, if Vala's still up, I know how to play Vala.
Yeah. And there's always going to be like that. It just takes one. The domino just needs to fall once, and I think that's going to happen with Tychus eventually, and he's going to really shine because he does a good job against Tracer as well. But
yeah, he does.
I mean, like, think about Greymane. He was out for so long, and then one team picked Greymane. Same thing with Cho'Gall. It's like, and then all of a sudden, like, that's on the table or that's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always interesting to watch the pros develop. The ESL, we didn't really jump into it too much. What was I saw some of Fnatic versus Navi. I kind of watched a lot of Navi, like just stomping people left and right. But Fnatic versus Navi was a really good series.
Yeah, those are kind of just two esports powerhouses, so that doesn't surprise me that they had some really solid games. I didn't get to watch too much of it, so I don't even know who won that event. So
Dignitas and My Insanity. Dignitas first place.
Yeah.
Okay,
right.
so same as the European finals last year.
Regional.
Last spring regional.
Same. Yeah.
So I think this doesn't this lead up into another European regional. This is just like a qualifier for that regional, I think.
Yeah, as far as I understand, because there's two different portraits you get for going to these events and why.
No, I think are they doing the same thing as NA where there are two different regionals?
I believe so.
Yeah, because none of the qualifiers actually finish. They just like, oh, you got to the top two, and that's it. You're in. So this was an actual tournament. So I think it was the first regional.
Okay.
Yeah. ESL is not the qualifier. That is a completely different tournament.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I totally misunderstood that. I'm not.
It's very confusing how they're running it this time around. I feel like
it's getting bigger though.
Like, yeah, it is getting bigger. I mean, even someone like me who's deeply rooted into the competitive scene a bit, it's like there was the DreamHack qualifiers and then DreamHack's this other NA qualifier event, and now there's ESL qualifiers for a second North American tournament, and there was the first qualifiers on Sunday, but there's like 2 or 3 other qualifiers for that same event. So I mean, it's very hard to keep track of, but having more events is really, really solid, and I really like seeing all these kind of new teams start to come up, especially in NA, where we're seeing a lot of these smaller teams get kind of bigger names on their teams, like Gale Force especially, I feel like has really come out strong. They qualified for DreamHack, and they they kind of stomped Cloud9. I mean, I think we talked a little bit about this last week, but they just were really impressive.
What was it? Noventic versus Cloud9. Did you see how mad Zoya was? Hi, Zoya, by the way. Oh my! They went like Lily, and Zoya, like, he turned the earth. He tilted so hard.
Oh, that sounds like Zoya.
I was stunned because he always came across to me as this, like, passionate, but for the most part, level-headed guy. But that Lily pick came out, and he was like, okay, I see what it is. Cloud9 with their clown shoes, big floppy red shoes going squeak, squeak. I was like, "What, Zoya? What are you doing, buddy? How's
Oh
it
my
going?
gosh.
You feeling okay? You need a minute?" But like, I've never seen him react like that. I think poor Gilly didn't know exactly how to handle that. She was just
Yeah, it's funny
Kinda
because
He
trying
even
to
tweeted
do her-
about it later.
did he?
Yeah, he said
Yeah.
something about like because he's casted like I don't know if he actually casted EU, but watching EU and casting Korea and casting NA qualifiers, he's like Lily's been a 0% win rate so far, and
Oh
he
my-
was just real upset.
Wow.
Okay, yeah,
That's not
sorry.
even his. That's not even his team.
Yeah, sorry. Stepping back a little bit, I did look up that EU, the ESL Leicester event,
Lester.
event. Dignitas did qualify for the summer finals, so they qualified.
Yeah.
My Insanity didn't, but they won $20,000, so
Yeah.
that's not half bad.
Because there are two qualifiers. If
yeah.
you win one of them, you're guaranteed in.
Mm-hmm.
$4,000 a person for playing Heroes, man.
Yeah.
Not bad.
I'd be pretty happy.
Let's see.
Yeah.
I'd be happy if someone mailed me a burrito.
Huh?
Yeah.
Or probably a gift card. Mailing a burrito sounds bad.
Oh yeah,
Go check out petsovernight.com.
you may have stumbled onto an interesting business venture. I want to talk to you about.
There you go.
Bonus points if anyone remembers that game.
Yeah, so the first North American qualifier will be DreamHack All Stars Austin, which is starting May 6th, so 2 weeks from now. A little less than
Right,
2 weeks.
Carl's backyard.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm in the middle of finals, so I'm
Oh,
not
rip.
going.
And the 8 teams vying for that, they haven't had the groups drawn up yet, so we can't really speculate on how those groups are going to go. But it's Tempo Storm, Naventic, Gale Force, THC, Cloud9, Panda Global, Cognitive, and Gusterbus. So I mean, all the big names are there, and then some of the kind of up and comers. The old Team Blaze, now Panda Global.
Yeah, that's who I'm
Yeah.
kind of rooting for. I'd like to see them get it together because they were such a big presence, and they just can't seem to quite get it done, especially when they go up against like some of the big names. And I'd really like to see them break through that like last little hurdle and get it done.
Mm-hmm.
And so
I'm rooting for Gusterbust, honestly.
yeah, I'd like to see them do well. They've especially after the whole King of Blades shenanigans that happened. I don't remember if we talked about that, but
I don't think we did on the show.
okay. Well, basically they were in a really bad contract with their old team, and their old managers just threatened to sue them. And there's this guy, he goes by Esports Lawyer, and he got involved and I think is helping them through that process currently right now.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, some managers, man, I don't really trust like people who are trying to profit off of other people's gaming skills. Like, always feels a bit shady sometimes.
Yeah.
There's always room for corruption and stuff like this where it's not really regulated and everybody's kind of
Mhm.
I mean, esports is still the Wild West a little bit, and it's not.
Heroes is at least.
Yeah,
Heroes.
Heroes really is,
Stuff
unfortunately.
like League gets. I mean, stuff happens, especially in like wildcard regions. But like NALCS is pretty heavily regulated.
Mhm.
So I mean,
They've
part
been
of that just
doing-
come with 6 years of
Yeah,
establishment. You know.
Dota is to an extent like there's the shuffle period after a major or the international.
Yeah.
But like
it's always
Valve
gonna
has tried to limit that time, but what ended up happening was big players would get shut out of the next regional because a team would drop them and sign a new player at the last second.
yeah.
happen.
And I mean, maybe I'm a bit biased, but I really think Heroes is the funnest like MOBA game to watch. Like the moments that happen within team fights are so hype. Like just watching it played at the pro level. And other people in chat were like, "What is this game?" Like just things can change
Yeah.
so quickly. There's constant action. There's no like, okay, we're gonna get through this farm phase, then we're gonna see who wins. Like
Mhm.
it's like from the jump, someone can die in the first minute and it not like make them lose the game. Just like, oh man, it's so much fun to watch.
Mhm.
And that's, I think there's more of an
Yeah.
appeal for it. I hope it continues to grow like it has been because I mean, when I first started playing this game, I just thought like, oh, this is a fun MOBA. It'll be cool to play with friends. I never really thought of it in the grand scheme of the pro scene. I mean, I knew there would be people who played it super seriously and stuff, but to see how quickly it's grown and
Yeah.
I
it's really
posted
cool.
I posted a link in chat, and to me, Heroes is the video game representation of that video.
So I did want to talk about really quickly, since we were talking about the whole pro scene, how it's structured. The second North American regional will be June 4th and 5th at ESL Studios in Burbank. And the first qualifier was last weekend. Yeah, my neck of the woods. Hopefully I'll be able to go. We'll see. Noventic and Cognitive qualified from that first qualifier. The second qualifier is this upcoming Sunday, May 1st. So we'll get the next two from that. Then there's a third qualifier, and then an invitational qualifier. I think ESL did this for a spring season as well, where the fourth qualifier was like the top 8 point earners from the first 3 qualifiers that didn't make it. So
Okay.
and it's kind of a play in to the NA championships here.
That's
But
good.
once again, Noventic, they qualify on the first day of qualifiers. They did that same with the DreamHack. So I'd say they're looking the strongest right now in NA, and Cloud9 Tempo Storm are still having trouble qualifying on day 1.
Yeah. I think C9 does much better on the land than most of the other NA teams. Like in front of a live audience and stuff, they always show up and really perform well. So I'm not like super worried for them. But yeah, I mean, you can't deny that Noventic qualifying day 1 both times is a good sign.
I never
Yeah.
even thought about that though, Carl. You raise a really good point. Like they have ice water in their veins when they're like
Yeah.
nothing rattles them when they're playing in front of a crowd. Just,
Doing a murky pick at BlizzCon on the biggest stage you've ever been on, like I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know if I could ever do that.
Yeah.
Not that I'll
Playing
ever be on the
against,
BlizzCon stage.
the Korean team, right?
Hmm.
yeah.
The team that was favored to win the tournament
Yeah.
in your game 2 is saying, yeah, it's
Was that
Merc is the
Blackheart's
pick
Bay?
here. No, it was no, it was Curse.
They took Rexar Worlds matches too.
Yeah, they went
Mhm.
Rexar on
Dragonshire. Because
But yeah, they
that's
did the-
honestly the only map he's good on.
Yeah. But the Murky thing was like Abathur would split push the whole time, and then Tassadar, Leoric, Murky, Brightwing would just distract the whole team permanently after level 20.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And they won.
Yeah, those are some
It's,
crazy
Yeah.
strategies to be in.
Cloud9 like
That's
hates
sweet.
that stuff the most. Like they're always so outspoken about how much they hate Abathur, how much they hate split push, but they can do it
Hmm.
really well.
Yeah.
If
Yeah,
it can
that-
win you games, why you better know
Yeah.
how to play that.
I mean,
yeah.
you're a pro, right? You got to win the game no matter no matter how much you hate it,
Yeah. Exactly.
and they're willing to do it. And they play it better than almost anyone.
Hmm.
Now, sadly, they don't have Fan anymore. 'cause
Yeah.
Abathur,
Fan is so good.
the
Like,
best in the world.
Jeez,
Yeah.
I can't believe how good it is. I did want to point out really quickly with that qualifier that Noventic and COG got through. Noventic had to beat Guster Bus and Cloud9 to qualify, and COG had to beat Tempo and Panda Global to qualify. So, I mean, I feel like that shows that
Yeah.
both those teams are really strong right now.
Going into it
Mhm.
hot.
Yep.
There's always something to say about momentum too.
Yeah.
Especially
But-
in this.
And you
Team gets-
can hide your strats till the tourney. Like they don't
Mhm.
have to play anybody
Right.
until then. You know, they can scrim whoever they want to.
For a
And
month,
then-
basically, yeah.
Yeah, for a month, and no one knows what Noventic's playing, and they can come out with something. And
Hmm.
So real quick, guys, we've been a week later here with Tracer and Overwatch beta access and stuff. I see Willie already rolling his eyes.
You tilted Willie.
I don't think we need to ask each other, do we think she's good? She's pretty good. Is she broke? Jimmy?
I really don't think so. Not at this point, at least. I mean, she's really frustrating to play against, but I mean, even that Charlie game, they first picked Tracer. She wasn't the problem for us again in that game.
no, she wasn't.
So,
It was
I-
Lunar Gas.
yeah, I don't
Yep.
think she's a problem. I'm really curious how the pros will be able to perform with her, or
Yeah.
if they even choose her at all, because I feel like her skill ceiling is pretty astronomical.
Carl, is she broke?
Well, Hot Slug says she is. She's at like a 58% win rate or something.
Yeah, which is the highest we've seen in a little bit.
No,
Picked.
I think Rhaegar and Li Ming were both above 60.
Yeah.
They've been brought back down to earth, right? Or-
Yeah,
Oh
they
yeah,
have
yeah.
been. Right now, she's the highest.
Yeah.
So like, that's what I'm saying. She's not in the last month. She's probably not the highest we've seen. I think she's counterable. If you don't have targeted CC, you're gonna have a bad time.
Yeah.
So draft targeted CC. There's a decent amount of it in the game.
Yeah, and now that we have access to things like Hero League and Team League with drafts and bans and things like that, I'm less inclined to get upset when a character comes in this hot because I do feel like, but Willie's basically about to jump out of his chair if he doesn't get to tell us what he thinks of the Tracer. So go ahead, man.
Okay, she's not broken.
Okay.
Half baked raises a good point, and so does Carl. She's not broken, or that hard to counter. But have you ever had that mosquito buzzing around your ear and you just can't seem to kill it? It's like that, but this mosquito will eventually kill you if you don't do anything about it.
Yeah. This
Like-
mosquito has West Niles.
Yes, it has Super SARS, West Niles, and the Zika virus all at the same time.
Oh my god.
That's how annoying she is. Like,
West Nile is annoying, guys.
Yeah. Guys, deadly diseases, highly annoyed by that.
Oh my
It's just
god.
kind of irritating, real inconvenient.
the Zika virus will just give you a skin rash. But okay, like again, Carl raises the point. A hard CC just stuffs Tracer completely. Her hero pool is slightly above Murky's. Okay, so a bright again. We were doing this to random Tracers in Hero League that they would or even in quick match, polymorph, drag, she's dead. End of story.
Yeah.
But if you don't have any targetable CC for her, she's gonna be really, really annoying.
Yep.
There was a game I was playing where my team thought it was a great idea to leave me solo against a Tracer and not help, and it was a bad time. I don't remember which game it was. I don't remember if I was solo or not, but it was a bad time.
Yep.
She kept zipping around me, and there was 0%. There was a 0% chance I was ever going to hit a drag on her, and so she would just literally run circles around me as I was trying to walk back to base, and just basically being a real. She was being rude. It wasn't letting me play the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with her. I personally don't think she's broke. I think she has two really good maps, though. I think she's amazing on Blackheart's Bay, and she's amazing on Tomb of the Spider Queens. Not only because a lot of fights break out there, but she is so good at zipping in and saving objective coins or gems.
That's true.
Like, no one can do that better than her. No one even has the option to do that, really, like she can. Where a lot of the times going in to save,
Wormhole Zero can, but
yeah,
that's about it.
yeah, that's about it. But he's good on those maps too for that reason. But
And she blows up those Black Arts Bay chests instantly.
yeah,
It's
very
pretty incredible how fast she blows them up.
Especially if Rhaegar is putting a lightning shield on her. That's always fun.
Yeah.
Those things just explode. But yeah, there's not many heroes who can teleport in and save objectives from danger areas where usually someone lost coins or gems because they were blown up by a team. And I've seen her. I saw two good players particularly just say big time objective counts that can make the difference when it comes to the late game. Because if you lose a lot of gems on Spider Queen, it can be crippling.
Yeah. And even though she's counterable, she's still good.
Yeah.
Right? I don't think there are many times where it's just a flat out terrible idea to draft Tracer.
Yeah.
So
That's what I mean. She's not broke, but we don't have to ask each other is she good? Because she's good.
yeah. She's good.
She's been good.
Yeah.
We should probably jump into this balance patch. I mean, we just been
Oh yeah.
spitballing here. Let's see. They haven't.
Killthas.
Yeah, I think you know what's going on here. So Carl kind of summed it up perfectly in chat earlier. He said they're buffing the stuff he doesn't use and nerfing the stuff he always picks.
Yeah, pretty much. There's been a build the pros were using where it heavily relied on the talent level 7, where they take 30% increased damage from Killthas if they're hit by his stun. And then they would use Sun King's Fury at 16 for like that extra auto attack after his trait, when living bombs on them, I think. And there's just a whole bunch of burst damage on a single target who was diving you.
Yeah.
And so they nerfed the bonus ability power at level 1 that everyone was taking, and they nerfed the Sun King's Fury damage. So, that's good. They kind of nerfed that just immediate, you get hit by a stun, you're dead kind of stuff.
Yeah, and it worked too well with Muradin, who's just like such a
yeah.
safe pick too.
Then the 2 quest talents at level 1, they basically made easier to complete. Or the convection isn't easier to complete, but you get a bigger reward.
Yeah.
And mana addicts is easier to do. So, you still probably won't take them on like, I don't know, like I'm trying to think of a good like early game map where there's gonna be a lot of rotations and stuff.
Dragonshire.
Yeah, Dragonshire maybe. But unlike Cursed or Garden Terror, it's gonna go a while. You'll have time to kind of safely poke and stuff. For convection, those are good picks now.
Or not Battlefield, I meant Shrines. But yeah, that's like I said, I don't really play a lot of Kelthus, but I do see why these changes were done. You pretty much summed it up perfectly. One of the more interesting ones really is the Butcher here. I think he has a chance to be in that same arena that Thrall and Illidan are in now. I really do. I think he's still easily... He can be taken out of fights easily, but with the ability to, with Butcher's Brand, now increasing the bonus healing from basic attacks, when you take Insatiable Blade, bonus healing from basic attacks increase from 25% to 50%. That's a huge jump. He already feels hard.
He already is nearly impossible to 1v1, I feel like.
Yeah.
It's really difficult to 1v1 him. So
Insatiable Blade...
insane. Go ahead, Carl.
Insatiable Blade normally increases from 75% to 100%, so now there's going to be 75% to 125%.
Yeah.
His basic acts are a lot. So...
Yeah, it's the cooldown on Ruthless Onslaught's big. A full 5 seconds off of that cooldown, which is his primary initiation tool, lowering the mana cost, and one of his talents got changed so the cooldown reduction is decreased, but I imagine if you took Unrelenting Pursuit, the cooldown would still be greater because it's already a full 5 seconds off, and they only nerfed the cooldown reduction 7%. His Chop Meat talent for Wave Clear, I think, is one of the things that kind of hidden big deal, where if you want to take Chop Meat now for Wave Clear, it now does 100% to minions and mercenaries, and we know how important Wave Clear is on certain maps, and having the ability to do that makes and breaks heroes on certain maps. Johanna is such a highly sought after pick on certain maps, mainly because her Wave Clear is so good.
But she's also incredibly tanky.
Well, yeah, too, yeah.
But I mean, the reason when Johanna, there was a time where Johanna and Leoric were the 2 best tanks in the game, almost exclusively for their Wave Clear.
Yeah. Because
you could run to a lane, clear it, and then go gank somebody.
Yep. And especially if you got control of a lane or two, and you could constantly keep it pushed out, especially in the case of Leoric, who I don't really see a lot of anymore. Kind of weird. Yeah. He was so popular, then he just kind of fell off hard.
Yeah, he's fallen off quite a bit.
Just a big damage increase on Furnace Blast. His talent, Enraged, the cooldown is down 5 seconds on that too, so... Just pretty much across the board buffs for Butcher.
So quick math on Ruthless Onslaught, if I'm doing this right. Unrelenting Pursuit with the 40% decrease on the 20-second cooldown makes it a 12-second cooldown. But now that got nerfed to from 15, if you take the talent, now it's going to be a 10-second cooldown.
Okay.
So it's a, like I said, smaller reduction, but it's a lower cooldown overall still than before.
if you didn't used to take Unrelenting Pursuit and you take it now, basically you're having the time of Ruthless Onslaughts cooldown.
Yes, you are.
You're used to, which is, I mean, it's such a good skill. That's what makes him. And Tracer laughs at it, obviously, but I think that I don't know. There's a chance we'll see him. I know Will's really skeptical. He thinks Butcher is kind of.
I don't think it's going to change him that much. I mean, the changes are nice, but I don't.
He still has the same problems.
Yeah, he has no escape. In top level play, he'll always be niche unless his numbers are so broken you can't not pick him.
Yeah, and nothing I see here really changes that. You know, I mean, he's got a little bit better sustain with Insatiable Blade, but I mean, chop meat. What? I'm gonna look. Let's see what level this is real quick.
It's at level 1.
Yeah.
I don't.
None of his level 1 talents are super impressive, so I think that's.
Oh, I end up taking the one that the cooldown is reduced if
Invigoration.
You hit a hero. Yeah.
Yeah, it's decent, but
it keeps your enemies slowed. Like constantly, they don't.
Yeah, I don't know. Unless they have a bunch of dashes or something, I've never really had a hard time sticking on them without it.
Yeah. Yeah, this will give him wave clear at least. I think that's probably the biggest.
Well, okay, hold on. Now that I'm looking at this, I see chop meat drops meat to 3 stacks of meat. Okay, that's a little different because having meat on Butcher is obviously incredibly important.
Really, really important. Yeah.
Especially when you die once, you want to be able to regather it fairly quickly.
Yeah, and that changes it a little bit. To me, that okay, maybe that would be a better count, but it still doesn't really. I don't think really sway my opinion.
I don't think it's going to do anything for the pros. It's like Carl said, it's going to be a very niche pick. I mean, he has the potential to be very dangerous in Hero League and like people playing in amateurs quick match. He already kind of had that ability sometimes where if you just got the wrong comp against him, he would just absolutely eat your team alive.
Yeah.
It's just kind of a bummer. Like overall, his since he's come into the game, like he had 1 week of glory, then he got with a few nerfs, and ever since then it's been just kind of him and Rexar both have never really met the expectations, and both those guys were probably. Those were 2 of the heroes I was really hyped for when they came out, especially after Butcher's trailer. Butcher's hero trailer was so cool, where he murders Tychus, and he murders all of Tychus's friends, and then Tychus comes into his lab and he's chopping one of them up, and then he just charges at Tychus out of the darkness while he's firing bullets. I was so.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, that was a good one.
I was so hyped for him. Yeah.
Go
ahead.
One thing. When you think about the E cooldown, one of the big things about Butcher is, you can cancel your E. Those of you that don't know, when you're charging in, and if it's a terrible situation, you just hit E again and you stop. And before, that was like, all right, I can't charge in again this team fight, basically, because it's such a long cooldown.
Yeah.
But at 15 seconds, and if you take the cooldown at 10 seconds, that's more of a... Well, I'll get the chance kind of soon.
Yeah.
So that can kind of help he can't get out of bad situations. It doesn't feel as crushing to cancel the E.
Yeah.
I don't think it's enough to make him great, but that does help.
He is a good counter to Morales too. If the team isn't positionally strong in a way to blow it, he's the kind of guy who can just get in on Morales with impunity, especially if he takes Lambs to the slaughter. I think Lamb to the Slaughter is always going to be what makes him very good when you need to take someone down. And I think he's always been, and I've never really seen him utilized this way since, what was that big event they had when they did the big Heroes event to celebrate the Diablo event? Gilly was there.
Yeah, I forget what it was called. But
Nexus Mayhem?
Nexus Mayhem, I think, something like that.
Yeah, and they kind of showed off low-key how hard he counters Illidan if he's patient. And Illidan runs rampant. He's like a first ban pick. I've never seen anyone go, "Oh, you're gonna pick an Illidan team? Well, we took Butcher. Lamb's to the slaughter. He can't move. We're just gonna stun him and blow him up, and there goes most of what you're hoping to do with damage. Because if he's not the hunt target, he can counter the hunt with relentless onslaught, and then I mean, Lance to the slaughter just absolutely murders him.
Yeah. And Illidan can't. Butcher's one of the few people Illidan can't duel.
Yeah. Yeah, he's always been a hard counter to Illidan, yet I've never ever seen him really utilized that way on the big stage, which is...
I've never really thought about that. I will have to try that.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Other changes include small changes to Nazebo. The Gargantuan's basic attack damage is getting reduced, and the Stomp's damage is getting increased. Basically, it was because Gargantuan hit like a truck with his easy skill, and his weak skill, or his skill shot skill.
Yeah, and I didn't realize this, but I was looking at Hotslog. He's number 4 right now in win percentage. I didn't realize he had crept up so high up on the list.
Nazebo's always been pretty good in casual play.
Yeah. He's someone that you can wrap your head around fairly easily. It's like, okay, I just need to create space, throw spiders, as long as I don't trap my entire team with my zombie wall. No one's going to yell will do damage.
Yeah.
Just small changes, though. Rexar. I'm actually very happy to see the throwing axe's talent basically get moved into his baseline. Because I always thought it was an interesting way to build him, because when you take... I believe it's a level 7 talent that increases his attack speed. His attack speed is on par with Balla's without hatred stacks, which is kind of ridiculous for a warrior. But if you wanted to get anything out of that, you had to take throwing axes. There was no choice about it. I know me and Digitality broke down the math on it though one day, and his attack speed's surprisingly good for someone who is a warrior and tanky. Mm-hmm. So I always kind of played around with that throwing axe build. It just felt like you were. What's the talent that's usually taken at 7?
I like Aspect of the Beast.
Yes.
Where Misha's basic attack lower the cooldowns of Misha charge by 2 seconds.
You had to take that.
Yeah.
Misha was so important to his game.
Exactly. Misha's really, and then some people will take the Bird of Prey for just like really good wave clear, right? Because that's important. But like the team fighting. Have all of the stuns ability was Aspect of the Beast, and throwing axe it just wasn't worth that.
Yeah, it made him a better warrior and a very unique warrior, but you could never take it. So I'm interested to see if this will let Rexar play much differently than any other warrior possibly can, just by moving this into his baseline skills. Mm-hmm. Because he has a decent range at this point. Like no warrior can attack as far out as he can.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited.
Yeah, I think he's still
he'll be decent.
I think he's still up for a full revamp, but this is kind of their mending of it. Yeah, Band-Aid fix for it.
Is he the worst hero in the game right now?
Statistically, yes. And according to Tempo Storm, I don't know if statistically he's pretty low. And then Tempo Storm rated him at the very bottom of their list.
According to Hotslog, Kerrigan is at the absolute bottom right now.
You know, I gotta agree with that, actually. I'll say Kerrigan, just because she can't do anything well enough to be worthy of a pick anymore. At least Rexar has Dragon Share going for him.
Yeah.
Anything Kerrigan can do, Illidan, Thrall can do much better.
I mean, she can lock down a target better than them, but everything else they do better.
Yeah. She blows up too easy to try and get that lockdown, though.
Yeah.
Like you don't see these carry comps with her anymore like you used to back in the day.
She's got one thing, and now that Uther Divine Shield is meta, and everyone can take cleanse, and it's just it's beatable.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of sad because she's another one of those characters I really, really like, and she had her like couple of months of glory, especially in the alpha days when she was just absolutely broke with some of
Rewind at 13.
Yeah, Rewind at 13, and her shields were like out of this world broke. Like she got shields so quickly from everything. Like everything gave her shields. Like, oh, you did damage to me? Let me get a shield. Like it was silliness, but yeah, I think her and Rexar are probably the 2 leading candidates for worst heroes in the game, and probably just in need of a rework.
But Rexar got low. I think he'll be better. He's not going to be OP, but he'll be in a better spot.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be fun to see where he goes. I think we're going to have to skip what's hot on Reddit. You guys got anything you want to add here? I mean, we could just mention it real quick.
Yeah.
Because it's just kind of a silly one thing. But basically, someone on Reddit asked, hey, can we get a visual indicator on the minimap for whether or not a well is up? So when your well gets destroyed, and we've all been there, you're dueling back and forth in a lane that's a little pushed out. You're in the middle of that lane. You go back to tap your well, and you realize some jerk named Li Ming blew it up in the 2-minute mark of the game, and you no longer have a well to tap. So then you got to go all the way back, and at that point, you're like, man, why didn't I just hearth back to I'm wasting a ton of time here. So somebody is basically asking, can we get a mini-map indicator on whether or not my well is destroyed? Willie, what do you think?
No, absolutely not. I don't think it's necessary on any level. This is just basic map awareness at this point that comes into play. Like when your well has been destroyed. If you have that short of a memory span, I really don't know what to say.
I mean, what if you're not in that lane though? What if like I said, in case of Li Ming on a map like like Infernal Shrines, where she can backdoor over there and just Essie Johan it out, and then you go up there later during a team fight around the shrine, and you go back and you're like, wait, this well's gone? When did that happen? We didn't even lose our lane yet.
How did you not see the well as you were going by?
That's true.
If you walked to the center piece or something.
If you were rotating.
I don't know.
Again, it's.
I'm just playing.
It's basic map awareness. It's the cornerstone of playing any MOBA.
But it's not on your map, like your mini map.
Okay.
And you got to zoom over there and watch what they're doing.
I'm saying basic map awareness is look at your mini map.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, it's not saying it's really, really hard to just click over on the other lane where the thing is, but it removes a step.
Yeah, and I guess, but I don't really think. I don't think it's necessary. I mean, there's going to be an argument for it, and there's going to be an argument against it. I think. One, it could potentially clutter the minimap more. Two, it's just I don't like the idea. It's hard to put it into coherent sentences, like how much I don't like that idea.
I do worry about minimap clutter. They would have to make it such a small indicator if they were going to do it. I have a hard time arguing with Willie, by the way, when he's holding his debate cat. Like when he's sitting there stroking a cat and looking at you and making like valid points, you're just like, all right, dude, you win.
Yeah.
So do we have a giveaway today?
We do. We have the Magni Murden skin. Magni.
We gave him away about 2 weeks ago, right?
Yep. I got another one out at Heroes of the Dorm, so.
I bought this skin roughly 30 seconds after getting into this game.
I really love this skin.
It's a really solid skin.
I like the way it makes his hammers or both of his weapons look.
Yeah.
So
I played a Dwarf Warrior in WoW and loved Magni, so I had to.
Yeah, it's very cool. If you want to get the thing going, I'll go through all the other stuff.
Yeah, just hit !raffle in chat right now, and you will be entered.
And remember, if you want to play some games with us after the show, we go into the Nexus directly after we're done recording, and we love to play with our patrons. We love to play with people who show up in chat for game, or just show up just for the game portion. We love when we can get 5 other people when Artifice is here, and 5-on-5 is always fun. We usually randomize the teams, and we do I liked last time when we did the 1-lane AREM map. That was a lot of fun. Sometimes we do drafts. Sometimes we just do all random on an all random map. It's all just for fun. And if you'd like to come and join us, just be here at 11 o'clock Eastern or 8 o'clock Pacific, and show up in the chat room, and we'll try to get you in a game with us.
Yeah, definitely.
Wait. Oh, for the gameplay portion.
Yeah.
How do we get so many people all of a sudden decide to chirp up for for a raffle. I appreciate it though. I love having more people in chat. So
Yeah.
thank you guys. And
No,
yeah, make
we-
sure
we-
if
We started off with only like Akuma and Shadow talking, and then all of a sudden the chat just kind of like started expanding more and more,
mhm.
and that's always cool.
See, I thought this,
Was that really Kuma? Was that really Kuma talking though? Because it was more like incoherent raging.
Yeah, Akuma's the best, honestly.
Yeah, and happy to see
Like that guy's so
Snuggy. I haven't seen Snuggy in chat in a while, so
Yeah,
thanks for
Snuggy's-
making out, man.
Yeah, thank you, Snuggy. You know, you got like 8 million jobs and 4 million things to do between school and that, so always appreciate you making time for us. Make sure you're checking out heroesofthestorm.blizzpro.com. Willie, despite having an absolute hatred for Tracer, wrote up an amazing build on her and broke down a lot of her skills. I read it and I understood her better, so if
I
you're
haven't
having
read those.
trouble
What
with Tracer...
challenges you take?
Carl's going to jump on and criticize your build, so...
Yeah, go ahead, Carl.
Before he gets too...
Please.
We have our resident alebeard writing up articles that are just they titillate the mind and the body and the soul. It's just amazing. You learn things, you laugh, you love. Everything's great when you read alebeard's articles. I also write build articles here and there, so come check those out. And we now have, if you want to be one of our patrons, by the way, you can go to patreon.com/BlizzPro, or no, patreon.com/HeroesPowerHour. And if you go to twitch.com/BlizzPro, we have a subscribe button down there. You can subscribe. You can get special emotes. You can tell people to stay tight with Jimmy's face in any chat you're in. I'm doing it now, and it's amazing. It's so much fun.
Yeah, and it also gives you this. They just add this back in after not having it for a couple of years. But if you are a subscriber, you get no ads on our channel, on the Blizz Pro channel. So that is super awesome. Don't miss anything.
Yeah. No more having
And-
to watch the newest Call of Duty trailer before you get to see our lovely faces.
Um.
Right?
But yeah, let's go ahead. I'm going to close out this raffle and we will draw Sugar Hots.
Nice.
Congratulations.
Woo!
Yay!
You'll get a Twitch direct message from me, from my account DJ Tyrant, in just a little bit here, and we're gonna set up for our Patreon games now, or viewer games as well. So make sure.
Wow. Are you okay there, Jimmy?
You
Yeah.
just totally
Oh.
derailed everything.
I was like, what? I'm like,
Willie
I'm
just like pulled the lever and the train just
I was scratching off the.
rolls.
I was scratching off
My-
the key.
The wow just completely broke his brain. Poor Jimmy.
Oh,
It's
that
okay.
was that sound. Yeah, Jimmy was doing the scratch off so he could get the code. I was wondering
Yep.
what that sound was. I was
Yep.
like, did somebody just start scratching their mic for no reason?
But yeah, unless anyone else has any closing thoughts, I think that's going to bring episode 58 to a close here.
I just want to thank everyone for coming out again and thank all our patrons and our subscribers. You guys really, you give us the energy to do stuff like do 58 episodes and talk about Heroes and play it every week and do things in Chair League and just have fun because it's nice to know that people out there actually are paying attention to us in some way or another. It makes it a lot more fun, so we really appreciate you guys.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, and stay tight.
Stay tight.